Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of MedHead, where we will have the same jacket and hats throughout the whole week because I have nowhere to go. As always, I did my Anki this morning and it wasn't that many cards. Thankfully, it was about like 650 Anki cards, but I have so many cards that I have to do today for today's lectures. We have one lecture that's over autoimmune disorders, and then we have one lecture that's over immunodeficiency disorders, and together those both make up more than 250 something cards, I think. So yeah, I have to get going, and I will take you guys along with me throughout the week. I have to get autoimmune disorders out of the way first, and hopefully that won't take too much. It's a very hefty lecture, but we got to get her done because at my school we actually don't get a set aside specific time to be taught immunology by itself ever again, and I want to make sure I have a good basis for whenever I next see it, which could be possibly a year from now when I start step studying. So I want to make sure I'm good now, and I will see you at the same desk that I sit at all the time 24/7. Okay, now that I finished that lecture, it was pretty long, but I got it done, and it's time to do the Anki for it. I set myself about 40 minutes to do it. We'll see if it takes 40 minutes. Alright, so, of course, that took me way longer than expected. There were some doubles, and I do not like doubles, so I made sure to kind of sort through the doubles and get those active cards that I actually want to do in the Anking deck. But now that that's over, I do have two sketchy videos I need to watch. One over Helicobacter pylori and one over Bordetella pertussis. I should have honestly watched those videos previously, but they keep talking about those bugs, so I decided to give those a watch. And then after that, I have an immunodeficiency lecture, which is also another big chunk one. So I might not get as much sketchy as I wanted to get done tonight, and I might not be able to do anatomy, but I think today is the heaviest day of the week. Hopefully that turns out to be true, because this is the last lecture week of the semester as an MS1 semester 1. MS1 semester 2 is very different. So next semester is going to be system based, meaning that our modules are going to be basically all of cardio at once, and then moving on to another system like all of pulm at once or pulmonary at once. And I'll talk about that a little bit more in future videos, but this is the last lecture week of foundations, which means there's going to be a big transition to more third-party materials next semester. So this is kind of closing a chapter, at least here at McGovern, and I'm excited to get it done. But today is it's a big one that's kind of sitting in the way. This morning I decided to actually make my bed, and then I took a quick shower. Alright, so it is Tuesday. I was a little slower today, slower than normal. We had a required 2-hour kind of team-based learning based off of confounding variables and stuff like that. And it is a little later than I would have liked to jump super deep into Anki today. I have gotten a good amount done, but it's not too late right now. And before I forget, I do need to wrap these Christmas presents before jumping right in Anki. I know tonight I'm not going to want to stop Anki to wrap the presents, but I'd rather get it done right now than later. As you can see, I'm not the best at wrapping presents, but it will end up looking like a wrapped present, and that's all that matters to me. Barely reaches. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Bruh. Okay, it's fine. I'll just... Okay, I restarted. I think I need to count the squares. Oh my god. What? when it's all said and done, it doesn't look too bad. It could look better, but I'm not too upset about it. Okay, 1 down, 2 more to go. So for dinner today, as always, got some chicken and lemon garlic, green beans, and mashed potatoes. Alright guys, so I finished Anki for today. Obviously way later than I wanted to, but I'm gonna get started with the one foundational lecture we had today, which is nice because today wasn't as productive, so I'm thankful for that. The one lecture is over transplantation immunology, or basically the idea of immunology along with organ transplants. As you guys know, we can reject organ transplants, which is super important, or we can just reject blood transfusions too. So this lecture is pretty important in teasing out the principles with that.
Okay, so really, graft acceptance, graft rejection, the interaction of the new organ from the recipient into host is based upon matrix compatibility, or the HLA antigens between donor and recipient. So obviously, immunologically, these should match as close as possible when you're putting an organ into a recipient. So the histocompatibility, therefore, is really the differences between the tissues going from the donor to the recipient, and it's the recipient's immune system that recognizes the transplanted organ or tissue as alien.
Alright, it is 7:58, and according to my schedule, I am due to do some sketchy right now. Hopefully I can get a good amount done. And now it's time to wrap up for the day. This morning I had a nice serving of tea and Anki, but mostly Anki. Okay guys, it is Wednesday. I have finished all my Anki dues, and this morning we actually had a lecture that was basically not really a lecture, but it was an orientation to what we need to expect for next semester, because we start our preceptorships then, or shadowing in other words, and it will be a little bit more involved. The normal shadowing, like we will be expected to take a history and have more in-depth patient interactions than when I was shadowing in college. So it's not quite shadowing, a little bit more, as it is going to be graded, but I'm pretty excited about it because they pair you with a physician. It's at random, and you get to follow them, and we're obviously not allowed near COVID units. So they're trying to keep us safe in that aspect, and we're gonna be on all the proper PPE and everything like that, but really excited about that. Today we have actually a handful of pretty interesting lectures. One of them is immunosuppressive drugs, and now I'm going to do a lecture over cancer immunobiology, which sounds convoluted and kind of difficult, so we'll see how that goes. After that, I do need to grab some food, but then after the food, the next lecture that I have is over diagnostic immunological assays, basically different ways we can take different lab values for things related to immunology and make diagnoses. I just finished the cancer bioimmunology lecture, and we finished with multiple myeloma, which is a B-cell malignancy, meaning that you have uncontrollable B-cell proliferation, meaning that we'll have a lot of plasma cells being made from them, and they'll be putting out a lot of one type of antibody, which is specifically going to be IgG, and that's a good marker for finding multiple myeloma in patients. Multiple myeloma is such an issue because with this B-cell proliferation, it can end up eating away at different structures. You'll have this Swiss cheese kind of pattern with these little holes in your skull, and this is from basically the cells. Because they're proliferating so much, they need nutrients, and they start taking that from the tissue around them. So this is a pretty scary cancer, but I thought I'd just show you guys because I thought the pathology of it was pretty interesting. Here you can kind of see when they do a Western blot, you can see that M component, which is basically them detecting the excess amount of immunoglobulins or antibodies in the body, the IgG I just told you guys about. It'll show up as the M component. Hey guys, it's Thursday morning and it is about 9 a.m. I'm gonna be heading to the coffee shop to get a lot of work done today. Today is going to be a day full of sketchy micro and anatomy because that really needs some attention. Hopefully I'll get a good amount done. I've already done about 200-ish Anki cards today, but obviously I have a lot more left, so let's get going. Alright, so I'm back from the coffee shop, got a good amount of work done there. Tonight I do want to get a little bit more prep done for our TBL tomorrow and get a little bit more sketchy done.
Every Friday we can see your wonderful faces, so thank you guys.
Awesome. That's for us, or that's for your course reps?
This is for y'all. This is for you guys.
Oh.
Screenshot that. Hold on.
Guys, hold on. I gotta take a picture of this.
Alright, good, not so morning right now. It is about 1:30 p.m. and the reason I am just now talking to you guys is because the beginning of my day has been kind of boring or kind of busy. So those never really make good combinations for things to film. However, you guys did see we had that little moment where we were thanking the emergency physician who kind of runs the whole TBL and our partners, a bunch of PhDs who teach us our lectures and run the TBL at the same time. So it was just a nice way to kind of show our thanks because that was our last TBL, last lecture of the semester. We are completely done with foundations lectures. Now we're only going to be doing modules from here on out. Okay guys, I have just finished sketchy for the day and I'm pretty much done with school for the day. I'm just gonna cut my hair. So I'm gonna show you a little bit of what my hair looks like right now. Not the whole thing. It's not for the camera, but can you see that? It's a mess. It's too long. I really have to take time to manage it in the mornings, and I just really don't like my hair long because of that reason. So I'm just gonna do the big chop, cut it short, and get that done. Cutting my hair is always so stressful because I'm not a stylist. I didn't go to school to cut my own hair. You would think I wouldn't be nervous by now because I started cutting my hair freshman year at Baylor, but I still don't trust myself. So it takes me a while, so I'm gonna get that done. This is the last time I'm gonna talk to you guys, but I will show you what my haircut looks like when I'm done. But I just wanted to say thank you guys so much for joining me this week, very last week of foundations. Next week is the very last test week of foundations, and we are done with foundations. I don't know if y'all heard that, dog. I just like aggressively yawned below me. But anyways, on Friday 18th, done with foundations, and then we get a 2-week break, Christmas break. I'll be putting out some videos for you guys, so let me know what you would like to see. It won't be the normal, obviously, and I will see all you guys on the next video. When I show you my haircut though, don't make fun of it. Remember, I'm not a stylist. I don't have that many mirrors. I can't see the back of my head. The mirror trick doesn't work that well for me, so. Alright, so when I started this channel, I said I would try to be relatively transparent. And the few times that I mentioned cutting my hair, I messed up. Look how far back I went here versus this side. So it looks like I'm going to be wearing a hat. With that botched haircut all said and done, I will see y'all later.